Good evening, everybody. We got here another 1v1 Arabia matchup, and this is going to be a good one. So let's get right into it. We do have in the red playing as the Magyars MbL, and his enemy to the eastern side of the map is going to be Hera, playing as the Bengalis, one of the newer civilizations. So right off the bat, I mean, these two top level players, when we're looking at Hera versus MbL, we're talking top 5, top 3 possibly as of time of recording. I believe Hera's number 1, MbL sitting probably top 3. And of course, just looking at the map right off the bat, this is a beautiful map for Hera. Very easily walled into his town center here. He's got the berries protected. He can wall in here and have a nice little pocket. He does have this back gold sitting way back on the other side, so probably not accessible, and his main gold is forward outside of where I think he's going to wall in, which is going to be down to the town center, but maybe he'll wall over so that the gold is within his little town area. But overall, that's a fantastic map. And then when we look on the other side, not quite as good of a map for MbL. He does have this nice back gold, and further on in the game, if he does get some walls up here, this is going to be a nice big area for farming. He's got a couple of small wood lines here and some gold, some stone. That will help out, and protected berries. So a lot more open of a map. But further down later on in the game, he does have that safe main gold. So that is something to be important further down the line. And then, of course, taking a look at the civilizations, playing as the Magyars, maybe we will see early aggression from those scouts because he knows he has a map that's a bit more open. Once he scouts the enemy and he sees these two gold piles forward, that might encourage him even more to go forward, be aggressive, make sure that he denies the enemy of gold. And yeah, he's already clicked up to the next age, as he is on his way up well before Hera. Hera deciding to go for one more villager. If you take a look, I believe both of these players do have loom at this point in time, and barracks is being dropped by MbL, so both of the players on the way up to the feudal age. Hera has one more villager than MbL, but there we go. MbL already going forward as he hits the next age. A stable coming up for him right behind us. What's this villager going to do is place a little tower. So I will slow this down to regular speed as things are going to get a little bit more intense as we continue on. So a tower here, great placement too. It will be able to range this wood line, and once fletching comes in, which maybe it won't with the Magyars, but if it does, that'll be able to range quite a few of these lumberjacks. And here we see Hera does have to come forward. He is going to be making archers, and so he does have to come forward to this gold mine, and the enemy MbL sees that right off the bat, so he knows what to expect. Only one spear out to protect this gold mine, and one spear is not going to do too much in the grand scheme of things, as this tower is about to go up. Both players have scouted the enemy. They know where they are. And this tower went up very smoothly, no issues, and a little bit of a surprise. At this stage in the game, a tower like this, it's not going to take out a villager. It's not going to kill a villager unless one gets stuck or something. But what it does is it causes all of these villagers to stand still, to go over to another wood line, to build a lumber camp forward, you know, cause all this damage. And, oh, nice little play here by Hera as he picks off a scout. So that's a good little advantage he has there, as he's got 2 archers and 2 spearmen on the field. But a little bit of a switch going on from the Magyar player. We do see skirmishers coming out already, so a couple skirmishers will be able to engage against this army, no problem. Skirmishers just very strong when it comes to an archer spearman mix. We'll see if this villager does decide to go for anything else, whether he's going to build houses forward or no, looks like he's just going to walk all the way back home as the army is going forward. And Hera is looping around. These are pretty weak, but they might be able to pick off a villager. But at the same time, the big engagement looks like it's going to happen here. And yes, Hera does have to put a tower. That's not an ideal location for a tower. It's a bit further back. It'd be nice to set it up here, but you got to do what you got to do. And it's not very pretty right now. Lots of wasted time. Villagers, archers falling down. One archer is down already. There goes a villager, and another archer goes down to those skirmishers. So not a very good engagement for Hera at all. And while we were looking at that, it looks like some of these villagers were attacked by this small army, but honestly, 1 or 2 skirmishers can clean that up pretty well if they're not microed too well. And now we can see MbL really trying to push his advantage. He's got the military advantage right now. 3 archers and 1 spearman on the field, and that is it. And so there is a bit of a switch to the scouts because these archers, they can't get in close. Both players do have fletching. And speaking of fletching, more delays with that extra upgrade on this wood line for Hera. So that's going to cause some problems. And these archers will get picked off by the skirmishers as walls are coming in behind, but unable to do too much damage at this point in time. Once we see maybe 2 scouts, we'll be able to clean this whole thing up without any issues. So the archers trying to pick off when they can, see if they can make any hits, and yeah, they're going to choose to engage and just stay right out of range of the skirmishers and actually take out a scout. Good job there from Hera. He takes out a scout. He's lost a lot of time for villager time. He's had to waste stone on this tower. He's had to quick wall and move his lumber camp. You know, there's been quite a bit of damage, but now that he's got scouts on the field in response, he's attacking back. These skirmishers are going to fall, and now the push out starts from Hera as both of these players are going to be looking to go up to the next stage. Hera, of course, is fully walled in behind this, so that is something that he does have in his favor. He can't be raided very easily by these strong Magyars scouts. And then, of course, MbL is looking to wall in. Big walls here, and quite a tight little base, but he's got everything he needs. 2 wood lines, he's got gold. He should be good to go. Once these archers are upgraded to crossbowmen, it might be a different story, but we'll have to see when we get to that stage. These walls should go up. If you're Hera, you don't want to be running in here with your scouts without any archer support. And in the meantime, back at the base, just more damage coming in as both of these players are getting close to the next stage, and MbL able to click up just that much faster. 1 less villager still, but overall, you know, he's been able to save up. He's got the more efficient economy for much of the game just for the sake of him not being attacked as aggressively as Hera was. So Hera trying to pick off, trying to see where he can engage, where he can move in, as a market coming in right now. Trying to click up, and there you go. Click up happens. So both of these players now on their way up to the next stage. See exactly whether they decide to stay with archers, or it looks like there's going to be a switch into possibly knights. I was wondering if we would see more cavalry archers or knights from the Magyar player, but it looks like with 2 stables we'll see more melee coming out, and that's going to cause some issues because we see archery ranges being built for Hera, as these archers will get picked off pretty easily with this many skirmishers as well as scouts. I mean, just the scouts alone could pick them off. But the skirmishers will just put a seal on it. As this lumber camp's going to go down slowly. Tower, of course, is on the front. And archers are starting to get massed up now. But we see, yes, bloodlines coming in for both players now. So both players looking to make a bit more of a move towards cavalry. Immediately we see elite skirmisher come out, and oh, interesting, light cavalry coming up too. So he's going to stick with scouts. Light cavalry and elite skirmisher is going to completely destroy this army of archers and scouts. So not an engagement that you want to be having if you are Hera, and Hera knows that. He's going to go right inside the tower. He's going to run away. These skirmishers going to do quite a bit of damage. They can even tank arrow fire from the tower for a little while. As we see now, both players are in the castle age, but the speed of hitting the castle age for MbL was just so much better that he's got that light cavalry. They can take out villagers very, very quickly. A very underappreciated unit. They are able to raid just so well even this early in the game, and that makes a big, big, big difference as knights are starting to come across too. We see upgrades coming in for these archers, so they are going to be able to engage a little bit better, and a monastery coming up because he saw a knight. So Hera, of course, moving to this back gold, putting a town center there. That will be a safe town center, but he had to buy the stone for it. So that is another thing to note, is he's losing out on little things here and there. Let's see if he can boom up now, though. He will have the villager advantage. Can he hold off long enough to keep that up? Oh, I was wondering if these light cap are going to loop around and deny this town center, but they decide to attack the archery range instead, as the front gold is completely unavailable to Hera right now, and it's just this back gold that's available for him to choose. But we will see a little bit of a advantage as far as villager counts for Hera right off the bat, and Mangonel does not make the hit. I was wondering, that was close, but Mangonel will scare away these skirmishers. Of course, Mangonel is the natural counter to skirmishers. They bunch up. They're so weak against the Mangonel shot. But we'll see what sort of response MbL can have, because obviously cavalry going to do a good job responding. These scouts from Hera, they're going to run around, try to see what they can do, what they can pick off. Doesn't look like too much, especially with light cavalry in response. And we see a forward siege workshop. So if you see the enemy has a Mangonel, you can't engage against it, build your own. That's the easiest way to engage against a Mangonel that you can't beat. And the scouts trying to attack the monk, but not quite able to get in, as Bodkin Arrow is now going to be in for both players. So we will see the same range from these skirmishers as these crossbowmen. And immediately a Mangonel coming out on the front for MbL, and a villager lead for Hera. So this is, we see this so often. We see early on castle age or late feudal, we see specifically once the castle age hits, we see one player really focusing in on economy and one player really focusing in on military. And that's exactly what we have here. MbL going all out. Sure, he's got 2 town centers, but he's not as focused in the economy. He's pushing hard. He is falling behind when it comes to units, and he is pushing against the enemy with his advantage wherever he can. And the longer the game goes on, the more beneficial it is for the person with the better economy. The trick is you have to hold off long enough. And that's really what Hera's trying to do right now. Holding off. A little bit of a problem there as the Mangonel for Hera gets taken out. And with crossbowmen, you don't want to be engaging against skirmishers and Mangonels. That's a very tough thing to engage against. Very difficult unit composition for crossbowmen alone. But Hera, he's going to be calm. He's going to sit back. He's getting ballistics in. He's going to try to gain any sort of advantage that he can. And he's got a big villager lead as the 3rd town center is now coming up for MbL. So MbL will be creating as many villagers now as Hera is. But Hera had already 17 more. So we'll see if it's enough, as both of these players kind of sitting back now, waiting for their time. This is a big army, of course. able to completely wipe clean anything on the field for Hera right now. MbL definitely ahead. Definitely. He's got the better unit composition. I mean, we got 10 crossbows against this many skirmishers. Very difficult to engage against, but we do have elephant archers. Where are the elephant archers hiding out at? Can't quite see them. There they are. Popped out of the archery range. Elephant archers. So elephant archers are very tanky. They're able to engage. They can take shots. They can fight well. But of course, there's only so much that they can do. And against something like a monk and some light cap, there's not that much they can do. They're very expensive units. So we'll see what is up the sleeve of Hera as he's running around trying to engage where possible, choosing to prioritize the skirmishers instead of the mangonels, and we'll see if that comes back to bite him. Of course, conversions trying to come in. Nothing important converted yet. We did see a light cavalry get converted, but none of these elephant archers yet, as a 4th town center is on the field for MbL. So 4 town centers he will be catching up when it comes to villager count, which is good because he is very far behind right now. He is 20 villagers behind, but he's going to try and catch up, and he's going to do that by raiding and expanding. And whoa, bold castle here from Hera. If you take a look, it is out of line. Talk about a beautiful placement for a castle. That elephant archer might have just blown it as it got spotted, but the castle now able to be built so much more than it should have been able to, especially with mangonels and light cavalry. Will the castle go up? It looks like it must, but it might get messy as we see a lot of attacking. The villagers will finish this castle. They will hide in the castle as the mangonels both go down. The army now, tries to quick wall in those monks. The army of MbL is falling apart. There's nothing on the field anymore as the 4th town center is now going up for Hera. Is this a turning point right now? We will see. Elephant archers, are they able to do the damage as another town center is going up? This town center, again, just going to finish in time and going to be able to garrison, protect these villagers, and these knights, that light cavalry, they will die off. We'll see if they can break in, do enough damage, but I don't think they'll be able to do really anything as they get taken out right off the bat. Both players have villagers going forward right now, going to different areas, but we'll see if they spot one another. Looks like they might have just spotted one another there. How closely were they looking at the mini-map? That is the question. As Hera is running forward with crossbows, not a good spot to be in, but just trying to pick off any monk he can, and doesn't pick off a single one. This castle really sitting up front, building up a good location, and this is such a bold town center for Hera to make, as there's stables in behind it. So neither of those players noticed the enemy going that way, and so we see MbL now in the Imperial Age. We're definitely going to see something coming out of these for raiding, and just a difficult civilization to fight against, specifically for their raiding. MbL knows that. He knows how annoying it is when you see winged hussars or even Magyar hussars attacking. They're so cheap to make, and they do so much damage. Even this castle, I mean, look at it. It's a castle, and it's only able to take out 2, not even, yeah, just 2 light cavalry that run by. So very difficult to engage against. We see more light cavalry running across. The raids are coming in. The quick walls, though, nicely done by Hera. So he does protect that side of his economy, but this side does get attacked. Hera doesn't notice right now as we see engagements. Monks going down to the elephant archers. One does get converted, but that one will be able to fall as the skirmishers are taking out the other monk. Run! Attack with these light cavalry, but he's so busy, Hera, back at home as the light cavalry are streaming across the map, and Hera's not going to be able to click up to the next stage anytime soon. As this is a bold move. Both of these players have been taking such bold moves and going forward. Look at that castle placement. MbL going for such a bold castle. He knows the enemy is looking at his own economy. Look how messy the economy of Hera is right now. And he's just sending more villagers forward to build this castle. And finally MbL changes his mind. He realizes that he might be stretching himself a little bit too thin without an army. So he sends forward his army. He's raiding still. And this is just these three villagers, able to build so many stables. And Ratha is coming out now. They will be able to engage a little bit better, but not quite well enough, as they do get switched over to melee. This castle will go up, and that's it. I mean, really, Hera was in such a great position, but these raids, those three sneak villagers building these stables, MbL was able to completely cripple Hera. Hera had a slight advantage there. It was back and forth, but the raids finally got to Hera. It was just too much, especially with this castle going up.